Good afternoon, students. Today in this lecture talk, let us understand antigen presenting cells. Okay, in short, we can say this antigen presenting cells as APCs. So what are these APCs basically? These antigen presenting cells are immune cells that capture antigens like pathogens within the body system and then process them and then present the antigens on their surface to T cells. Okay, this presentation triggers the adaptive immune response, specifically the activation of T lymphocytes. Okay, in turn, this T lymphocytes which present to the B cells and activate the B lymphocytes for the production of the antibodies. So here, the main types of APCs are dendritic cells, macrophages, and B cells. What basically this APCs do means, these APCs are very crucial group of immune cells, right? That is going to play a very important role in initiating and regulating this particular adaptive immune responses. And also, what is their primary function here? To capture the pathogens, then process the pathogen, and then present antigens to T cells, thereby bridging the gap between the innate and adaptive immune system can be seen, right? For writing part, you can write this antigen presenting cells. Now let us go through what exactly the function of this particular APCs. APCs act as bridge between the innate and the adaptive immune system, right? As I told, they recognize pathogens or other foreign substances and engulf them and then break them down into smaller pieces, which are called antigens. Here, antigens, they are going to break down and they're presenting. That's why those are called basically antigen presenting cells. Okay. So, yen madutilli ant helidre, they first go for the antigen uptake, then antigen processing, then antigen presentation. You can keep in your mind how basically they go for this processing means they'll go for the first antigen uptake. In antigen uptake, what they are doing? These APCs, so-called, ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ APCs ಆಗುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲಿ dendritic cells, macrophages, and even the B cells. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? They engulf foreign invaders. What are the foreign invaders? Like bacteria, viruses, and other pathogens through a process such as phagocytosis, endocytosis, or pinocytosis. Through all this process, these APCs are going to engulf the antigen. Engulf madmele enagutte antigen na process madutte. Okay, inside they'll make that when to chop, they're going to chop or they're going to break down. Okay, that is we can say antigen processing. Once inside the APC, these pathogens are broken down into smaller fragments called peptides. Ivagenaitu antigens, they are broken or called here peptides. And these peptides will be presented by the APCs to the T cells. Okay, in association with the MSC. So we can say that as antigen presentation. What happens in antigen presentation? What are the peptide fragments which are fragmented are loaded onto a major histocompatibility complex. MSC ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ cells ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ MSC ತಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂತಿರುತ್ತೆ antenna ತರ. ಈ MSC that is going to present to the T cells. Okay, these MSC molecules are transported to the APC's surface. Okay, loaded onto the MSC molecules and then transported to the APC surface. The MSC peptide complex is displayed on the cell surface and they're ready to recognize by the T cells. Now, the APC cells, which are along with the processed antigen, along with the MSC, they go and present to the T cells. Okay. In the key process, APCs present these antigens on their surface attached to MSC molecules, which are proteins that help T cells recognize the antigens. T cells hogbittu ee ಒಂದು processed antigen recognize ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Then what are the different types of APCs? Okay, before going through that one, let us also understand about what exactly this particular APCs are going to do. These APCs first, they are going, they are very, very important for the T cells because once APC is present, then T cell in turn, they are going to interact with the B cells, and the production of the antibodies will happen here, right? So different types of APCs are like dendritic cells. The most efficient APCs, they are found in the tissues that are in contact with the external environment, like skin and intestine, and can also migrate to lymph nodes to activate T cells. Okay, so that is about the dendritic cells. Also, you can consider this is the most potent APCs and are essential for activating navy T cells. Navy means that is nascent or maybe still in a immature condition. Navy T cells, and they have a broad range of antigen presentation capabilities and can also perform cross presentation. That is presenting exogenous antigens and MSC class 1 molecules to activate cytotoxic T cells. Another one most important one is macrophages. Okay, these cells are involved in phagocytosis and antigen presentation. They play a crucial role in both innate and the adaptive immunity, right? It means they're responsible for the phagocyting processes that engulf and digest pathogens and also present antigens on their surface. And next one, the most important one, that is B cells. The B cells can also present antigens to T cells, particularly those that have been bound to their surface receptors. Okay, so beside producing these B cells antibodies, B cells can also function as APCs by presenting antigens to helper T cells. Apart from all these, we also have some non-professional antigen processing cells. That is, they can express MSC class 1 molecules and can present antigens, but they typically do so in specific contexts, not in all the conditions, often during inflammation or in infection. Okay, that may include fibroblasts, endothelial cells, and certain epithelial cells also do these antigen presenting cells, but predominantly dendritic cells, macrophages, and B cells. All right. Now let us go through the importance of this particular APCs. Why they are important here? These APCs for the T cell activation and for the specificity of adaptive immunity. Then immune response against intracellular, extracellular pathogens, and also for tumor immunity. Then peripheral tolerance. For all these characteristics, these APCs are very, very important. Okay. So in general, you can also say APCs are crucial for initiating and coordinating the adaptive immune response, allowing the body to mount a specific and effective defense against pathogens or other threats. Or you can also make a note of why they are important. That is, we can write T cell activation. Okay. Then specificity of adaptive immunity. Then immune response against intracellular and extracellular pathogens, you can write. Another one, tumor immunity. Tumor immunity in the sense, APCs here play a very important role in fighting tumors by presenting tumor-specific antigens to T cells. That time what happened? That leading to the destruction of the cancerous cells. That's why to reduce this particular any kind of infection or tumor immunity whenever happen, these APCs are going to react. Apart from that, T cell activation ಗೂ ಕೂಡ the APCs ತುಂಬಾ important ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಿದು T cells activation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ T cells which is the central players of adaptive immunity, right? This can only recognize antigens when they are presented on MSC molecules by APC. This is very, very important. When these APCs present the processed antigens to the T cells, only that time the T cell activation will happen. And this interaction triggers T cell activation, leading to elimination of the pathogens. All right. I hope you understood about this antigen processing cells. And coming to the immune response against intracellular and extracellular pathogens. Here, APCs can present antigens derived from both type of pathogens and enabling the activation of different types of T cells, maybe extracellular or maybe intracellular. All right. And this APC is also responsible for to prevent autoimmune disease by presenting self-antigens in a way that leads to the inactivation or deletion of self in reactive T cells. So they're responsible for the what? Preventing autoimmune diseases. So this is all about your APC. In general, what you can say here, APCs are indispensable for initiating and shaping adaptive immune responses by effectively capturing, processing, and presenting antigens to whom these APCs are going to present the processed antigen to T cells. They ensure a specific and effective immune response against a wide range of threats while also contributing to maintenance of self-tolerance. Okay, like they are going to fight against the autoimmune disease. All right. So this is all about APCs. I hope I made this particular APCs crystal clear. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Stay tuned with me. Thank you.